Hello and welcome to the Maple Grove City Report. I'm Dave Kaiser from Northwest Community Television. You are ready for an update of what's new in the city of Maple Grove and also a look back at the most recent council meeting. Stay with us. The Maple Grove City Report is coming right up. And thank you again for joining us on the Maple Grove City Report, joined by City Administrator Al Madsen. Al, welcome again to the program.
Thank you, Dave.
As you see, the notes are ready. We've got a lot to talk about of what's new in Maple Grove and also a rather short council meeting to touch base on, but we'll get to that in a few minutes. Let's first take a look back as we come to a close of 2014. We've got some numbers here. Single-family housing and some of the building in Maple Grove. What is the latest as far as the numbers?
Well, right now we're at 270 single-family building permits compared to 235 last year. We may see a few more trickle in the last couple of weeks, December. Sometimes there's a little bit of a rush to get in, tax reasons or whatever the case may be. So I think we'll see a few more, but I don't think we'll hit 300 this year. But still, it's whether it's 270, 80, 90, it's still a good strong year, and that doesn't include the multifamily that we're doing, like Sky and Silver Creek and Bottineau Ridge and things like that. So we've had a good year. It's been 2014, wherever it went, I don't know, but it has been a good year for us. So.
Do you keep track of those other numbers? Because I would have to guess that 2014, as far as the multifamily housing development, is one of the bigger years, maybe in the past 5, 10, maybe more than that?
It's a very good point. I would say it could be more than that because we've had the Sky, we've had Silver Creek, Bottineau Ridge, Arbor Lake Senior. So yes, I would say this probably could very well be the largest year we've had as far as multifamily permits that have been issued in probably maybe 10 years. It's been maybe more, so it's a good point.
And any thought as you look ahead now to 2015? I know it's always hard to tell and hard to project, but on both ends, single family, multifamily, what do you see potentially happening next year or the next couple of years?
I think single family will remain strong.
Okay.
We're filling out the southwest part of the city. The southeast part has been filled out. There's a few vacant lots in there, but very little. Obviously the northeast, that was really the first part of the city that was developed. So now in 2015 and on, we're going to be taking a serious look at services up into the northwest quadrant of the city. Now that 610 is coming through, the Elm Creek Interceptor is through there. So that's probably where the highlight of residential growth is going to be. So, but I think we'll have another good strong year. We still have phase 2 of the Sky at Arbor Lakes project. We have phase 2 of Silver Creek. That's roughly 95 units. And speaking of Silver Creek, it's close to 80% leased out. And it's not open yet. Obviously, they're very thrilled. And so I was told it's 75 to 80% leased out. The people that have signed tentative leases obviously want to see a finished product. And so what the the Silver Creek developer will be doing is not opening up the units one by one. All of them will be opened up at the same time. So they're going to complete all the units and then open them up. And then they will have their model units. But they're going to open them all up, which is good for us because otherwise, we got to inspect one here, one here, one here, and it's just, so it's a good opportunity for us as well. So, but I'm surprised, I should say, by how quickly it's leasing out. First of all, I'm surprised how quickly it's come out of the ground.
Yes, very true.
Wow. But then 75 to 80% pre-leased, and the Silver Creek folks they're thrilled. And it could very well move up their time schedule for phase 2, which is another 195 units.
Excellent.
Sky, that's just going very, very well. the Bottineau Ridge, John Duffy Affordable Housing Project. We thought maybe he would do his second 50 units at that site in 2015. Appears now it'll be 2016.
Okay.
So, but there's still a lot of activity in that area.
All right, we'll keep you up to date on those numbers, certainly as we move through 2015 as well. What else is new around town?
Well, the good old farmers market. That's one of those projects that you wonder when you first started to talk about it and when you first start to have it about the longevity of it. Well, I think we're going into our 11th year now, and so the longevity is there.
Signs are good.
It really, it certainly is. December 18th will be the final farmers market in December.
Okay.
And that's inside the community center from 3 to 6 p.m. Then in January, February, and March, we'll have one farmers market each of those months.
Right.
And then I think Carol and Kirsten are going to maybe take a break for a little bit.
Well deserved.
To gear up for the 2015 market. So it's just an amazing thing. And one of the nice things about this upcoming market on December 18th is that I think it's for $2 we will provide boxes and things that people want to buy something that they want to get it wrapped up right then and there for a present. They can do that. So
Oh, very nice.
Be a service provider right on site. So,
All right, very good.
So, the school gyms, we are adding on 3 gyms to the Maple Grove Junior High.
Right.
That's coming along very well, and I believe on January 19th they will be holding their first tournament there.
I
So
know there's some people very interested to get in there and use that space.
There certainly is. And then I think it's January 31st, I believe, that we're going to have the official dedication of it.
Okay.
But that's another project that really zipped on by, and so obviously the Basketball Association is just chomping at the bit to get in there and start having tournaments. And it's a big project for them, and it's also a big revenue thing for them as well.
Sure.
So that's coming along very, very well. In January, I will have I've asked our 2 state representatives and our state senator to come and meet with the city council and myself. We'll talk about what's coming up in the 2015 legislature and what kind of brain damage are we as a local unit of government going to be suffering. So, and then in February, I hope to bring in Metropolitan Council Commissioner Katie Rodriguez, she represents us, and then Hennepin County Commissioner Jeff Johnson. And I'll bring them in, do the same thing, meet with the council myself, talk about what Katie thinks the Met Council will be up to in 2015,
Right.
and what Commissioner Johnson thinks that the county will be up to in 2015. So
All right.
they're good opportunities.
And will those
for
be at
sharing.
council meetings, or will those be separate meetings?
They're separate meetings.
Okay.
The one in January will either be January 5th or January 19th. I'm waiting for feedback from the 3 individuals to see which date they prefer. The one in February, I've not set the date yet.
Okay.
We're still waiting for feedback from Katie and Jeff. So.
And are these meetings that are open to the public as
Oh, yes.
well? Okay,
Yes.
so
Open to the public. The one in January will be at 6 p.m. and they're always held in the mayor's conference room. Open to the public. The one in February will be a 6:30 start meeting, and again in the mayor's conference room.
okay, perfect. We'll try to give you a little recap of some of those as they happen in case you can't get there, but it's always interesting to think of the bigger picture of local government, if
Oh,
you
yes.
will, or state government, county government, that there's a lot that impacts Maple Grove that
Really
the council
is.
doesn't really have much of a hand into.
Absolutely right. Yeah, you're absolutely right on that. And there's, there are things that the legislature will do. God bless them. That trickle down to us. And
Right.
And they're not. They really are not doing the mandates as much as they used to do years ago. They would always hit local units of government with a mandate to do something, but never any funding
Right.
to do that.
Sure.
That is tapered off, so which
Okay.
makes life a little easier.
Yes.
So,
All right. So we'll try to keep you updated on those dates that are coming up and also give you a little recap.
Outdoor skating rinks. We had the outdoor skating rinks flooded.
And how did that go when it turned 50 degrees?
Yeah, right. So now we are reflooding them.
Okay.
And so, but now we're reflooding them when we're talking about temps in the 30s coming back for the next number of days. So, but anyway, we try to keep those rinks going. But it does get a little frustrating when you spend time flooding the rinks, and then all of a sudden the temperatures are in the 40s and the 50s.
Exactly, right?
But one thing I want to mention that our police department does is a retail crime initiative. We have officers that spend a lot of time out on the streets. In the good weather, it's with the bikes, but out in the streets visiting with area businesses, just to talk to them about crime alerts, safety things, stuff like that. It's several of the businesses have really greatly endorsed the retail crime initiative. They feel that just by having one of our officers meet with employees, give employees tips of what to do, what not to do, they feel it's been a tremendous benefit. So I want to congratulate our police department for taking the initiative to get out there and be with our business community. So, and the same thing goes for our residential development. We find that from time to time, middle of the night, our officers can be out driving around the city, and they'll find garage doors open.
Sure.
Or cars parked in there, and in many cases, maybe cars are in the driveway, totally unlocked, but there's a laptop or there's a cell phone or whatever the case may be. So if our officers, when they're out in the residential areas, and same with the retail, if they see it's 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and they see there's a garage door open, they do ring the doorbell. Now, sometimes when that happens, in the middle of the night, you do get very nervous, but it's important,
Sure.
for people to understand that we're doing this so they can get their garage door closed and obviously cut down the risk of crime. So,
And my guess would be with the police and the businesses, it's this whole realm of networking that
It
if
is.
something is happening, say crime-related at one business or a few businesses, the word can get out with the help of the police
Oh,
to
yes.
let all of the businesses know,
Right.
hey, watch out for this new scam, or
Right.
we've seen a little bit of this, you might want to be aware. So is that something they do? They have,
it's absolutely
it's
great
probably
point.
not a fax anymore or even an
No.
email, it's a text or something like that.
Yeah, with the social media today, things they spread so rapidly, and so yes, that's an excellent point. It improves the communication too between the businesses. So I'm really happy with what our police department is doing.
Congratulations
So
to
they're
them.
doing a very good job. I guess just a couple of other things is that hookah bars, however it's pronounced. We had an inquiry from a business that wants to, is giving thought to opening a hookah bar. What a hookah bar is that you have this canister and there are hoses coming from it, and people can go in and there's dried fruit leaves and other types of things that are in this canister, and then they can smoke this through a tube.
Okay.
Now, I don't know what the cost is for doing that, but there's nothing in our tobacco code that deals with hookah bars because we've never, experienced that. So the council felt that it's an opportunity to establish a moratorium on that until we get a better handle. We're not saying that they're bad. We're not saying they're good. We just feel that since they're not addressed in our code, they need to be part of our compliance checks. They need to be licensed, and so this gives us the opportunity to do so. Now, whether or not the individual that has talked about opening a hookah bar in Maple Grove, whether or not he follows through, remains to be seen, but it gives us an opportunity to update our code. So.
Have you had the opportunity to research other cities or states? Are there others that have dealt with this, or are there other stores that are open?
There are a few cities. There are some cities that prohibit it.
Okay.
There are some cities that feel that it's like cigarettes, e-cigarettes. You license it. You have a compliance capability. So when you go out and do your normal tobacco compliance checks, like we do, you also include that in the compliance checks.
Okay.
And so it's been kind of a little bit of a mixed bag.
Sure.
Some communities will say absolutely not. Others will say fine, as long as our code allows them to be licensed.
Okay. So what is the timing again on the moratorium, and when might this come before the council?
Well, the moratorium actually goes until the end of March of 2015.
Okay.
Now, there really wouldn't be any need for us to take that long of a time to determine where we would stand on it. So my thought is that probably sometime in the next 30 days,
Okay.
we'll bring something back to the council. So it may very well just be updating our tobacco code, and that's it. So,
Right.
But we need to do some
Okay.
study on it. So.
Very good.
As you mentioned, the council meeting was a smooth one. It was just 15 minutes long. We did formally adopt the 2015 budget. 2 weeks ago, we had the public hearing
Right.
to take input from residents, and then this past Monday night is when we formally adopted the 2015 budget. It's approximately $36 million. Tax levy is about 2.49%. A very large portion of our taxpayers are going to see either a stable tax level or a decrease. And so we're very, very happy with the proposed budget. I want to thank my finance director and his staff for all their work, all of my department directors for their due diligence. We start working on the budget in July, and so won't be long.
So
and
you
we'll
get 6 months off.
Right.
That's nice.
Yeah, won't be long. We'll be starting up the process again, but it's a lengthy process,
Sure.
and we do hold several work sessions with the council as we go through this. And so, but I think it's a very responsible budget. Roughly, as I say, $36 million. So I think all in all, it was good. I think the fact that when we held the public hearing to talk about the 2015 budget, we did not have anybody in the audience that came to either speak for it or against it.
Right.
And so I think that's a good sign
Sure.
that our residents see this as a responsible budget. And I think it is. And again, I thank all of our employees, all of my department heads for their due diligence. So,
Very good.
I want to welcome a probationary paid-on-call firefighter, Juan Morin. We just appointed him to the position of firefighter, and so we're happy with that. We did approve a Radiant Montessori School. They're in one of the churches right now, and they would like to build their own facility. And they want to build a facility that's up by the North Water Tower off Upland Lane. And so a couple weeks ago, we did take a look at the site plan and the concept plan, and council was fine with that. And so this was just a formality, so to speak.
Sure.
The other project is Youngstead's. Youngstead's has a car repair business that's over by Menards. There's a vacant piece of land that is just down the street from them that the city has owned.
Okay.
They made an offer to the city to buy it. We've accepted that offer. So they're proposing a car wash area, a fully automated car wash at that site. So council did approve that.
Seems to be a trend in Maple Grove these days. We must have a lot of dirty cars driving around Maple Grove.
That
right?
must be it. You're absolutely right. The one item which was on consent, but Mayor Stephenson pulled it off to excuse himself due to a conflict his law firm might have, is the Point. This was a project that was proposed by Opus on roughly 38 acres of land at the corner of Elm Creek Boulevard and Hemlock. It came in a long time back. The project has been fine-tuned and fine-tuned. That parcel is guided for non-retail focus, to be more of office, hotel, bank, things like that.
Right.
Unfortunately, Opus came in with a plan that was more retail focus. And the Planning Commission struggled with it. They finally did approve it. It came then to the City Council, actually twice. The City Council had real concerns because it does require a guided use plan, a change to our comprehensive land use plan on the north part of it and the south part of it. And so the council had real concerns about it. The developer, I think, saw the light that there was not enough votes to secure approval, And so at the past meeting, it was formally withdrawn, their application, formally withdrawn. Whether or not they'll go back to the drawing board, I don't know. I guess that remains to be seen. But the parcel is, any developer that comes in for that particular parcel will face the same set of circumstances
Right.
that Opus did, and that's, it needs to be non-retail focus. Again, we do not consider a hotel retail. We do not consider a bank retail. Restaurants are retail.
Okay.
The former Hy-Vee that was considered there, that's obviously retail. So we'll see what shakes out over the coming months on that. So.
And it has been discussed for a while, and again, the city's thought process behind guiding it that way is looking at more of the bigger picture. Maybe explain that for us, that it's not just that one parcel that you're concerned about here. It's the effect of that parcel on the whole area. Is that correct?
You're right. You're right. The effect, when we do our comprehensive land use plan, we take a look at the long range picture, not what we may not want to see today, but what do we want to see 5 years from now? And so yes, that parcel there was designated as a non-retail focus because we have so much retail now in the area on the south side
Right.
of Elm Creek Boulevard. We've got in excess of 3 million square feet of retail and service in that area. And so years ago, when we designed our land use plan, we designed it for a lot of retail on the south side of Elm Creek Boulevard, but on the north side, more in tune to office. With some retail
Sure.
mixed in,
Okay.
but mainly in tune with office. And so, but you're right, yes, that's kind of our long-range plan is that, and then maybe to kind of a ripple effect as you move east, but again, on the north side of Elm Creek Boulevard, so.
Right. So what is the next step then? Is there another developer that's interested, that is waiting in line, or does it sit for a while and see what the market decides?
Well, my assumption is it's going to sit for a while. We're not aware of any developer
Okay.
that has said, hey, Opus is gone, we're going to come in.
Right.
As I mentioned, any developer will face the same set of circumstances. It's a non-retail focus area. Now, if a developer comes in with a bank and a hotel and office buildings, that certainly changes the picture. But right now, my sense is that it may stay as it is for right now.
Okay. And obviously, the city has discussed this enough times that it doesn't seem that the city council is going to change their mind on what the focus of it should be.
Well, right now, I don't think so. I have started to convene meetings with my staff, with a representative from the council, a representative from the planning commission, to talk about just our overall land use plan in the gravel mining area. We adopted that years ago, and so maybe we need to do some tweaking of it. I don't think that means that we're going to change and make that site retail focus. There still is going to be that non-retail focus.
Right.
So we'll see, but I'm not aware of any developer that's has said, hey, Opus has stepped aside, so we're going to jump in.
But I would have to guess that you get comments from residents on occasion, National Night Out or other events you're out in the community, that they might occasionally say, Al, when is too many stores too many stores? Does that ever come up as something?
Oh,
And again, this kind of
sure
leads
has.
to that
Oh,
whole point.
It sure has, absolutely. And when you have well over 3 million square feet of retail in that area, in retail and service, things like
Right.
that, yes, we will have residents that will say enough is enough, because along with all of that is traffic.
Sure.
Now, the flip side is if you have a lot of retail in that area and you're not having any traffic, then something's wrong.
Right.
Then if you're a retailer, you're going to be concerned. But yeah, there is that old question about when is enough enough. And so I remember when we first did our community survey in 1983, dating myself, one of the most frequently asked questions was, when are we going to get a Target? And when are
Right.
we going to
Hard to
get
believe.
restaurants?
Yeah.
A few years later, well, the most recent survey we did, we have a Target, so that question didn't even pop up, but now we're having too many restaurants.
Right.
So
isn't that funny how that happens?
Yeah, the pendulum swings from one side to the other.
Sure.
But maybe a developer will come in, or maybe Opus will informally start discussions with us again. I don't know, but
Okay.
I think the message was clear that anybody that is going to develop that parcel is going to have a good non-retail focus
Right.
to it.
Okay.
What can make it tough, because the office market up in our area is tough. It's not, we don't have a lot of office developers that are knocking down our door. Retail, that's where a lot of these developers can make good money, is
Sure.
by developing retail parcels. So we'll see. We're willing to work with any developer. So.
All right, we will keep you up to date as that certainly progresses.
A couple other things before I forget. The Historical Society is meeting on December 18th. We just had an open house last weekend and went very well.
Good.
We're seeing more and more people come out to the open house. And for those that are wondering about the Historical Society, just go to the website. Information on there. You can go to the city's website. But the 18th of December is when we're having another historical meeting, and so
Okay.
it's a very, very solid, dedicated group. Well, it's not a group where we have hundreds of members,
Right.
but we have good, solid members that are willing to step to the plate and get tired like me. So, but it's
And
fun.
the meetings are at the Public Works facility in the old part of that building, and they're
Right.
in the evening, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah. At the old part of the Public Works building.
Right.
Yeah. We have a sign now out in front.
Good.
The Sleigh Bells and Sparkle Parade was December 6th, and that went well as always. MGCO does a very, very good job in putting that together, and I compliment Deb Syrie for her leadership of MGCO. She's
Yes.
an amazing lady. I want to thank the Maple Grove Lions. They donated $5,000 for the purchase of new computers for our senior program in the community center.
Wonderful.
That's fantastic. We mentioned the gym project. Our alcohol compliance checks. We have 62 businesses that we did compliance checks on, and 57 passed. We have 5 that did not. We keep hoping some point in time to get to 0.
Right.
Will we or not, I don't know. More and more of these businesses, though, are implementing a lot of electronic equipment, even though the driver's license clearly says on there, not 21 or under 21. The people get in a rush when they're serving
Right.
and lose their train of thought or whatever the case may be. But more and more businesses now are going to the electronic age, and so I think our violations are going to start to dwindle down, and it'd be fantastic if
Right.
we hit 0 sometime.
Good to hear.
See, what else did we chat about? As I say, the meeting was very short. We did adopt dates for the local Board of Appeal and Equalization. That will be April 14 and April 28 at 7 p.m. at the Government Center. And what that is if people have concerns about their value of their home, let's say, not the taxes, but it deals with the value.
Right.
And so they can come in and they can present their case to the council. I urge people, just don't come in and say, I think my value is too high. Do your homework.
Right.
Go to the websites and find out what the value is of other properties like yours that have been selling.
Right.
Bring that along as good evidence that maybe we're too high, maybe we're not. So, but that deals with value, not taxes.
And
So-
that is in April.
Yes, correct. Yes.
Very
So,
good.
other than that, it was a smooth meeting. It was a nice short meeting, and so a nice way to end the year. And
Very
it's just
good.
hard to believe 2014 is gone.
It is
so.
very hard to believe.
Holiday greetings to you
Yes.
and all the folks here, wonderful people here. So
And to the city as well. Let's leave you with that next meeting date, and look, it is 2015. January 5th, 2015, 7:30 at the Government Center. Website, Al mentioned it quite a few times with information from the city, maplegrovemn.gov. Phone number at the bottom of the screen. One more phone number, viewer response line 533-1710 if you have questions or comments for the program. For Al Madsen, I'm Dave Kaiser. Thanks for joining us on the Maple Grove City Report.